Hey guys, welcome and thanks for tuning into this video. Look, as you know, we've got this whole series going on around turning purpose into profit, okay? And I've been producing a whole series of articles which are on LinkedIn, podcasts which are on my podcast channel, and also these videos which are on YouTube for you. Now, I think by now you're already getting a real sense that the rise of purpose-driven companies really represents the future and the direction of business right now. And I hope that you're starting to see that business actually holds the key to creating real change at scale. And what do I mean by real change at scale? I'm simply talking about when you look around you and you pick any social or environmental issues, whether it's to do with climate change or deforestation or to do with poverty or malnutrition or any social issues, what we're increasingly finding is that actually when business harnesses the power that it has within it to really address a social problem, it has the ability to make change at scale. Okay, and that's just such an exciting possibility. So purpose is actually the most powerful way of building a thriving company which outlasts and outperforms the market. I could just skip on to the next slide, but let me just say that again. It is the most powerful way of building a thriving company which is outlasting and outperform the market. That means it's doing better than its competition. Purpose-driven brands are doing better than the competition, and they're actually navigating the disruptive and volatile market better than other companies. And that is just such a key piece of information for us. So these are the choices. Do nothing about purpose, don't address it, and actually just get left behind. Get it wrong and suffer a loss of trust and a loss of reputation, but get it right and create a market-leading company. So I'm really not sure that there's much choice to be made here. It's more a question of how we go about doing that. In this video, I'm going to talk to you more about how we can do that. So far we've covered the three forces that are reshaping the market. So we talked about the declining trust in the market in the Edelman study around that. We've talked about the rise of meaning and meaningful brands. And we've also touched on this idea of increased disruption and increased volatility in the market, and really looking at purpose as the antidote or as the answer, to a lot of those issues. And we've also talked about how increased competition in the marketplace with lower barriers to entry is making it so much harder to stand out with a really winning and valuable proposition. And we've talked about how a good value proposition or an outstanding value proposition needs to touch on all three of these elements: the functional value that you provide, in other words, the products or services, the need that you fill in the marketplace; the business value, in other words, how you go about providing that, your USP, the incremental product and service attributes that you offer; and lastly, the social value. What is the value of your business to the community in which you operate and to the wider world? And when you answer those three questions, those three elements in your value proposition, then you've got something that's outstanding. We've also talked about how to actually create your compelling value proposition and how purpose-led brands are outperforming the market. And we've also covered the three building blocks that you really need to address before embarking on this purpose-led journey. And those are really getting to grips with this opportunity and the size and scale of the opportunity, building the business case to be able to then answer number three, which is engaging your executive team and then going forward with a real purpose and real direction. Okay, so in this video, I'm going to actually explain to you how to uncover your company's own compelling purpose. I've put together a framework for doing that. So there are 6 steps to getting this right. Number 1 is you need to know who to engage. Number 2 is you need to really understand what purpose is about and also what it's not about. You need to uncover key themes of your purpose statement. You need to look at other inspirational and compelling statements of other companies, then draft your own purpose, and lastly, test and launch. And I'm going to walk you through those now. So first of all, who to engage? Well, really, there's no better way of doing this than really to engage absolutely everyone in your business. Purpose is such a fundamental question. It is answering such a fundamental question that if you really do this in the right way, engaging everyone, right from the most junior to the most senior person, you're going to develop and engage people in a way that they've probably never been engaged before, and you're going to get something that's really meaningful and that connects with the hearts and minds of everyone in your business. The best way to do it, series of interactive workshops. I'll tell you a bit more about it. But before I do, let's make sure we understand what purpose is about. So simply, purpose is literally identifying or explaining, outlining the reason for which something exists, the reason for which you exist as a business, okay? why you exist. That is the most fundamental question. It's different from vision, because vision is really talking about where you want to be in X number of years' time, so an aspirational time-bound future state. And that's valuable as well, but different. And sometimes mission and purpose can be used interchangeably. I prefer purpose because it's just unambiguous. So when I talk about uncovering key themes, this is where you want to kick off your workshop series. You want to get everyone together in a room. You probably want to break off that workshop into smaller groups of 3 or 4 and have people go off and discuss the key themes and the questions that I'm going to put up for you in a second, and then come back to the whole group to then categorize the key ideas that came out of those discussions, and then come up with a set of key themes that you're going to carry forward and which will eventually form part of your purpose statement. I can't stress it enough though, it's really important that you don't try and wordsmith, you don't try and write your purpose statement at this stage. This is just really about uncovering the key themes. Why is it that you exist as a business, and just capturing those themes. And we'll worry about the writing part bit later on. So you may want to ask the founder or founders before you break off into your groups, or explain this to the rest of the team. Why was your company founded in the first place? What was the initial impetus that drove you into this market? And then look, almost every company already has some sort of a purpose or a mission statement. And that's not to say it's actually fit for purpose, but most companies will have something. So maybe you have a current purpose statement or mission statement. Look at that and pull out from there, are there any themes that you want to carry forward? And lastly, in this first set of questions, how are you different from a functional and business perspective? So how do you stand out from your competition in terms of the products and services that you offer? How are they different? And how is it that you go about selling that product or service that also makes you different? What are the incremental product or service attributes that make you different? So answer those questions in your small groups, and then think about some other perhaps deeper questions. So what are the key social or environmental issues surrounding your business or your market? Maybe you want to have a group level brainstorm around that question, and then you want to ask again, perhaps in small groups, how might you use your business to tackle those issues? And who are the key stakeholders? Who are the key stakeholders that you want to impact, right? So obviously in terms of stakeholders, you've got your team, you've got your shareholders potentially, you've got community, you've got the people that your customers, the people that you want to serve. So think about the stakeholder groups that you most want to impact and how you actually want to improve their lives or their conditions. Okay? And so hopefully from those ideas, some really compelling ideas and themes are going to emerge. The next thing, step 4, is really about looking at some other compelling statements. Here's just a few examples, but by all means look into some of the other companies I mentioned, or some of the other purpose-driven brands that you're aware of, and figure out what is it that they're saying, and see if there's something in there that can help you to craft your own purpose statement. Okay, so Patagonia, obviously probably one of the most famous purpose-driven companies out there. They started so long ago and they've been pioneers in their fields. So what they say is build the best product, cause no unnecessary harm, use business to inspire and implement solutions to the environmental crisis. Okay, the Whole Foods market, another outstanding brand, helping support the health, well-being and healing of people, customers, team members and organizations in general, and the planet. This is a food company who are focusing on supporting the health, well-being and healing of people. Very interesting there. And then Tom's, we've talked about them already, using business to actually improve people's lives, and they've got the whole one-for-one concept, whereby, for example, in the shoe business, for every pair they sell, they donate one to a child in need. Okay, and my purpose statement, shape a more abundant future by focusing business on the opportunity for growth through higher purpose. Okay, so I hope from there you've already got some ideas about ways in which to draft a compelling statement. Now you actually need to draft it. So the process for doing that is really to pull together the ideas that you got from the compelling statements that we just read out, the ideas that emerge from your brainstorm, and then find somebody, either hire somebody, Upwork or another freelancing platform, somebody you know, or somebody on the team who is particularly good at writing and at wordsmithing, right? And then get that person to basically come up with a few proposals, 2, 3, maybe even 4 proposals of words that try to encapsulate all of those key ideas that we've already uncovered. And then you can play those back and use them for review by the team. Okay, so once you've honed in on one purpose statement, and maybe you have to go through a few iterations to get there. Once you've honed in on this purpose statement and the wording for it, then the next thing to do is to test it out and then to launch it. So the best way to do this is to launch a trial period within your company with a fixed end date, right? So choose an end date, maybe 6 weeks or a month or 6 weeks in advance. Put up posters around the office with your proposed purpose statement and some place where people can put up some notes or some changes or whatever. And then as you go through this period, really start to engage deeply with your teams, your customers, your friends, your advisors, and really start to talk openly about your purpose statement. Is it fit for purpose? Does it resonate? Does it capture the key themes of why you exist as a company? Okay. And then during that period, note down any feedback, any ideas that you may have on your posters. And then hopefully by the end of that period, you should be ready with a short, memorable and compelling statement. Okay, and just remember that it's so vital to get this right. Don't try and rush it. It's gonna pay dividends in the long run if you really have something that is fit for purpose. Okay, so make sure it's short, make sure that people can actually memorize it and that they do memorize it, and make sure that it's compelling. Okay, so once you've finalized your statement, you've got to make sure that you communicate to the team, because this is a vital moment where you've said that you're going to go down this road of being a purpose-led brand, and now the team and your customers in the outside world are going to start to look to you for action that supports your purpose. So make sure you make it clear to everyone, your customers, your team, etc., that identifying the words that make your purpose statement is really literally just the very first step in the process. And now you're going to be looking for ways to really live and breathe that purpose and make it into a reality. Okay, and we're going to talk more about how to actually do that in one of the follow-up videos that I'm going to be putting out for you very soon. So look, here's what happens next. Here are the next steps. I've designed a really special guide. Okay, and in this guide, I show you, one, how to create a rock solid business case before even embarking on this purpose-led journey. I talked to you about how to get your exec team behind you and fired up about this change, how to actually uncover your core purpose, what we've done today, but in more detail. I talked to you about how to then align your purpose with your company's strategy so that those two things are completely in line. I talked to you about how to create a selling proposition that your ideal prospects will love. This is such a key piece, to turn your purpose into a selling proposition that your prospects will love. I then talked to you about how to actually find your ideal prospects and actually teach you a very specific process for doing that. We then talk about how to attract and convert your ideal prospects and turn those people into your loyal customers. So if that sounds good to you, then here's what you need to do next. Just click on the link in the next slide or below this video. It's www.nashbillimoria.com/turn-purpose-into-profit. Turn purpose into profit. Okay, and you'll find that you'll be taken to a really simple registration page. You can download your free guide right away. It's totally free. There are no strings attached, and it comes with literally all of the info that you need to turn your purpose into a reality that's going to drive growth and attract your ideal clients and turn those into your loyal customers. Literally, I've put so much into this. You're absolutely going to love it. So just go ahead and download it for free. Okay, I really hope that you find it useful, and I look forward to adding value into your lives and businesses. Thank you so much. Bye bye.